just a little synopsis about my work in general. I truly love to photograph everything from journalism to conceptual photography. Something I never really did more than a few times though were self-portraits. And a little while ago, I took a self-portrait and where I painted myself to represent this bird's egg, a killdeer egg to be exact. And it was my way of trying to show people who didn't see the fragile side of me, just how fragile I was. And then I decided to take it a step further and construct these life-size nests and kind of put myself in them. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with severe depression, and to me, it seemed more like I was over-analyzing every thought that went through my brain rather than being truly depressed. By putting myself in these nests, I kind of represented trying to become whole again. The installations I have here represent that side of me that I'm still learning to heal. Nature is something that has always truly inspired me and comforted me. I can go out in the middle of nowhere and just truly understand everything that's happening around me. And after a while, I started to see how that was healing myself. And by going out and spending a generous amount of time in nature and, really putting myself into it, it kind of helped me find this stability in myself that I didn't really know was there. And, it's been a long process and I'm not completely 100% there yet, but I'm on my way. And yeah, this whole series has really just helped me heal in general. Thank you.
Any questions for Lindsay? I have one. You have this series of work. Which one do you feel is your, I guess not your strongest one, but the one that really evokes that healing the most in this group of work?
It would probably be Blossoms. It's the one on this wall back here. In the beginning, the series was it was about the idea of depression and overanalyzation, but the more I started doing it and I realized how better I'm actually becoming, I made the decision to kind of stop hating myself so much and really showing myself. And, I think the last one and where I'm painted the least shows that the best. Yes.
You seem to really pay attention to light a lot, so I'm wondering what other artists you look at.
I look at all different kinds of art. I look at everything from Gregory Crutzen to Vermeer. And, he especially is truly inspiring because his light is just spectacular in every single painting he's done. And it's nice to look at something other than photography as well.
Any other questions for Lindsay?
The process of making the picture, can you talk about that a little bit, and how did that play into your sort of healing process? Were you alone? Was it a meditative experience, building the nest, getting into it?
I wasn't always alone. I did have someone to help me as far as taking the picture goes. But I wanted to make sure that I had the perspective of above, because when you look into a nest, you want to see what's inside of it, and you want to, I wanted to keep that perspective strong. But as far as building the nest go, I wasn't always alone, but even when I wasn't, it was still a really meditative thing to go out and really have a hands-on just time with these materials that I don't get to use every day. So all in all was, yeah.
Did you leave them in place?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you been back to any of them?
I have. I did a long exposure because the one with the stones is in a creek. Most of these are taken at my family's farm and on their land. So this one I waited until after it rained, and then I went out with a tripod and took a long exposure of the water running through it.
did you, the physical part, how did you get to make sure that you got the above? How did you do that?
I used a tripod once, but every other time I had the person who assisted painting me hold it for me. I would show them what I wanted, and then I would set up everything, and then they would hold it for me across the shutter, show me what was going on, and then we'd go from there.
So it was close proximity.
Correct.
Any other questions? We're gonna go directly behind.